Hey everybody, Al here. If you guys have been following my channel, you'll know that I put up a video of my Ruger PC Carbine and what I did to make it ready for competition. And you'll also remember that on that video I talked about having ejection problems. I tried various things and I tried reshaping the extractor. Well, I finally broke down and I bought an M-Carbo extractor and some bolt pins, and for the most part it cured the problem, but still wasn't 100% reliable. I had still been unable to make it through a whole match without problems, but less problems than I had at the beginning. So one day I was just messing around with the gun and I think I found the problem and it cured my problem, so it may help others. So stay tuned and I will walk you through the process of, first of all, of how I found it and what I did to cure it. So the first thing I'll say is that most of the time when I ever loaded the gun, the bolt was always back. And that was because I always go with the chamber flag. Chamber flag is always in, so I take the chamber flag out and I rack a round in with the bolt back. So one day I loaded up a magazine with dummy rounds. These are all dummy rounds. You can see there's no primers in them. And I was attempting to pull the slide back, or the bolt, and it wouldn't come back. And I thought I had jammed something. I thought I had broken something. So let me go through the process of what it felt like and how I fixed it. So if you go to pull your bolt back, you will feel the point where the bolt hits. I'm going to pull the trigger first. You're going to feel where the bolt hits the hammer. And mine is so slicked up, I go right by it, but it's right here. So you can feel the bolt hit the hammer and it comes back, okay? Now, if you put a magazine in, and you'll see that this is a fully topped off magazine with the bolt closed, you really got to put some pressure on there to move it back. So what I found was, with the bolt all the way back and locked in place, I should say the hammer back in place. I'm trying to do this all in one take. When I pulled the bolt back, I couldn't go any further. I couldn't get it past here. Okay, it was like there was something holding back, and I really had to give it a good yank to come back. And I'll leave it open so I can explain. So this is what I found out the problem was. I'm just going to put this aside for a second. And I have my little cartoon here, my little illustration. So this is the bolt. And the bolt is in two pieces. There's a rear section and there's a forward section. And what was happening is, as the magazine was inserted or in place, when the bolt was coming back, this corner of the bolt right here was catching on the lip of the cartridge. And, you know, it was really difficult to get it past that. It was really hanging up on there. So the Ruger bolt comes with a very little chamfer in the corner, but it's still sharp. Now, I make my own handles. I don't shoot any factory out of this gun. And I never had a tight crimp on the case because I'm shooting lead bullets sometimes. So it was just a kind of a straight, very slight crimp. And this was hanging up as the bolt was trying to push back over the cartridge. And that's because this section is lower than this section. Okay, it's very noticeable. And I'll take the gun apart in a second. We'll go through it. So I decided to round off the corner. And I just rounded off this corner here. Okay, to make the transition a little bit smoother. And it really worked. And then I got to the point where I wanted it a little bit better. So I brought it up to about here and I made a nice gradual incline there. So all this was gone. And it is so smooth now, you don't ever feel that anymore. And again, if it may not happen to you, if you're using factory ammo that has a pretty good crimp on it, you may not feel that. But even if you do, and I've tried two other guns, it does make a difference, even with factory ammo, that comes back smoother. Now, how does this relate to ejection? There was something holding back the bolt from coming back. And it wouldn't come fully back okay, to pick up the cartridge. And sometimes I would just get, you know, enough so that the empty case was hung up coming out the ejection port. But I could never get fully back because the resistance, again, is tremendous of this bolt coming back. Think of it as having an automatic pistol and you put your hand behind the slide and you stop the movement. That's exactly what was happening here. So once I did this, problem was gone. Had no more hang-ups and went through entire matches without a problem. So let me get right into the internals here and I'll show you what I did. Just take me a second to get the gun apart. Yeah, I'm amazed that the people at Ruger haven't picked up on this and done something about it, but other than that, this gun has been pretty much flawless for me. It does a really good job in the matches. I beat a lot of the AR-15 shooters without too much trouble. I've been shooting Steel Challenge quite a bit now. That's the thing I use this rifle for more than USPSA. Bear with me here for a second. You can fast forward through this till you see the gun apart. Here we go. So hopefully you can see what I did here. I'll try to get a little bit closer. But you can see that I rounded off this whole area in the front here and polished it. I think that's showing up pretty good. Okay, that's all been polished. So now, right up until about this point, it's lower than this. Okay? So if you were to have a magazine in here, what happens is this rides right along the bolt. You can do this with a magazine. Okay, and you will feel that with the factory bolt, unmodified, you will feel the lip of the cartridge hang up on that corner. Once you smooth it off, it just floats right across the top. And it should not give you a problem anymore. The only thing you don't want to do is take anything off of the height on this front edge. So as long as you go up to about, I'd say at the most a half, and make sure you're lower than this surface, you'll be okay. And again, give that a try, and I think that's going to cure your problem. It cured mine. No more ejection problems. I can actually use lighter loads now. Gun doesn't recoil as much. And that pretty much did it for me. Post your questions and I'll answer anything you come up with. And again, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps cure your ejection problems. So it's not only the ejector, or extractor, I'm sorry, it's not only the extractor, it is got something to do with the mechanics of the gun. Take care again, and thanks for watching.